Hi guys, so I thought that I would make a quick recording. I'm not going to go on about things too much, but I was having a chat to someone about education and, the cost of it and how long it can take and all the rest of it, and that a lot of the time when we educate ourselves, we generally pay for a bachelor's degree that gets us a job. We're not doing it. It's like the bachelor's degree that I've done is in events management. Someone else might have done theirs in accounting or something. I don't really think anyone just goes, oh, I'd love to study accounting. No offense. Obviously, that's for a job. And so what I wanted to have a chat about was that, because we are chatting about the costs and all the rest of it, how it takes time, then you need a job to repay it because we've got a student debt. And I was like, actually, I study a lot of things. Um, and that's because I had a really good influence from my father. I was really blessed to have a dad who opened a piano store on my 18th birthday. Not many people know that about me. The crazy thing is, though, my mom had really big issues with pianos. Like, we actually had a fight about it. We had a fight to the point where she put on The Voice. It's that voice where, like, anyone has ever had a fight with their parents, and all of a sudden their voice shit changes because their voice changes, and you're just like, it's fine, whatever. Like, you just know not to cross the line any further with them. I don't know if anyone else has ever had that experience, but I had that with my mum, where she would just, like, all of a sudden something would change, and I'd be like, no, it's fine, it's cool, mum, it's fine, whatever. And I just kind of go and hide back in my room and hope she wouldn't kick me out or get the shits with me and tell me to leave. So that was it. And like I said, my dad, who was actually a piano maker by trade, and he opened his first piano store um, up when I was 18. I mean, like, you never know what's really going on in someone's life or how they feel or anything like that. So I don't know why she didn't let me have the piano. She didn't want me to have a piano. Dad and I would discuss it. Anyway, moving forward. So I am actually a bit of a trained piano technician myself, and I've just, unfortunately, both my parents have died as well, and I'm 50 in about 10 years. So as for me, education is really important. I understand the cost can be quite high, so I thought I'd discuss a number of different options that I actually found were quite affordable for me to pursue, and that were very enriching for my life, and helped keep me out of trouble, helped me to feel like I was raised, that I give myself a good life. I raise myself as best as I can. Aside from ballet, I'm always doing Latin dancing or ballet. I try to perform at least, 2 to 4 times a year on stage. I've done that for the past few years. And that's always a good thing to have a skill, just simple things like Latin dancing, taking a ballet class. They're very cost effective. A lot of people might get into martial arts. I get into that as well. It's not always nice to be punched in the face, but it depends on what you're working on and what you're building up in your life as well. I do it for a lot of sportsmanship, but a lot of people can be a little bit irresponsible with those types of skills, and you've got to have a good attitude about it. And mine's strictly for self-defense, of course, 100%. But some people can be dickheads about it. Anyway, um, this book cost me like $50, and my cello cost me about. I was actually really lucky because the music store owner that I went through knew my father, and so I got a little bit of a princess treatment where he gave me, a maple flameback, more expensive version than the version that I was buying, because it was a little bit out of my budget. However, it only cost me about $1,000 for a cello. For a good student cello, you can get one for about that. And the books cost you about $50. And coming up into 10 years off 50, it is something that I enjoy doing. It's inexpensive, and it's something that can really enrich your life. So that's one of the educational things I'm working currently. It does take a lot of skill and craftsmanship. Violin is a little bit known as a little bit more technical and harder. But you can do that. Another thing, when my dad passed away and I got some money from that, I bought myself a harp. Now this harp is actually very light, and I can probably take it to parks, and you might see some videos of me playing that. I play it in my room or in my garden, which I really love. I like to spend time in my garden because I like life and nature, and but I play my harp, and that was expensive. That was about 4.5, 5 grand. But again, I will play that until I'm 50, and I'm 37 now, about to turn 38. So it's a very worthwhile investment. And then the books are only like $40. I'm currently, it's not as hard as you think, and it's a lot of fun. I'm currently on grade 4, hoping to do my exams in November, along with my AMEB exams for piano and violin. Actually, hopefully I get my new baby grand piano next week, and I can resume my studies. I have a broken keyboard at the moment. It's not very nice to play, but we work with what we've got. Another thing, and this is the thing too, I came up with some street art that you might see around, and one of the street art posters that I developed and came up with is Angelo. Angelo is an angel, and he plays saxophone, and I was like, and then I started looking up sax music, it just goes from there, and I was like, oh wow, that's so cool, I can go and do that. And so I got a book to do that, because it's very jazzy, it's romantic, it's sexy, it's fun. I can go out, I can pop a video on YouTube, people might like it. It complements my poster girl thing, makes it a fun adventure for me to have in my life. I like doing beautiful, fun things. A lot of people I find work on really hateful, destructive, negative things that can hurt people, destroy their lives for no reason. I will never understand why people will ever go out of their way to destroy people. Like, my life is nearly over. I'm 50 in 10 years. I don't particularly care. I love myself. If you don't love me, if you don't care about me, I'm not going to go that far out of my way. And, because it is what it is. People have their own lives. Anyway, and you have to look after yourself in this life. Another thing that you can do, you can learn a language. You can buy a book. You can learn a language. It's very cost effective. It's very enriching, and opens up a host of a wide range of, you can listen to music, you can watch some movies, you read books, you can go overseas, you can meet new people. So learning language, I chose Spanish because my grandfather, who I actually look a lot like, even though I'm 90 kilos at the moment, so I'm very overweight. I'm very overweight. I'm quite chubby. I'm a size 14. Nearly bigger. I'm tight in a size 14 at the moment. Usually I sit at a size 10, so I'm 2 dress sizes up, and I usually sit at 70 kilos. But not to say that I don't. I actually look a lot like my mum, but I get the almondy eyes from my grandfather, my teeth, and shape my eyebrows, etc. He's Spanish. Everyone on my mum's side is actually Scottish and Irish, hence the harp, because my grandmother's Welsh. But then there's also violin. A violin will set you back, maybe a good violin will set you back $750, $800. I've got a Romanian handmade Gliga Mark II. It's a beautiful instrument, and only cost me about $800. And I got it. I bought it online, and I got it. And the book probably cost me about $40. I'm on grade 6 at the moment with that. And of course, then you've got your tech work books that you can do, which is always really fun. And then there's piano. I've got all my piano books. I'm currently on grade 6, and I'm hoping to sit my grade 6 exams at the end of the year. And, so it's most of my spare time. If I'm not, whenever I'm at home, all I ever do is I play music. Anytime I'm at home, if I'm not doing music, I'm doing gardening. I like it to be a happy, loving, fun, happy experience, and then I'll be on grade 7. And when I complete these, now these books only cost me, it cost me like $64. And a piano, you can get a decent piano. Like, I'm picking up a baby grand piano. It's beautiful for like two grand. So they're not that expensive, and it's going to cost me about $600 to get delivered. So that's a baby grand piano. Kohler & Campbell is my preferred brand, or like a Schumann. I'm not, like Yamaha's okay, but I do prefer Kohler & Campbell or a Schumann. They are the ones that my father did stock, and I grew up playing at his shop and all the rest of it, also tuning. But hopefully I'll get one of them. At the moment, I think I've got, I'm not quite sure, I think it's a Howard I'm not quite sure where that brand's from. But again, it's a beautiful piano. It's gloss black. It does the job, and it cost me $2.5 grand, and the books cost me that. So you don't need to spend, back to the original thing. What are we going for time? 10 minutes in. So there's a whole range of things you do. You've also got clarinet. You've got flute. Go and buy a drum kit for $250 and put it out the back. You know, there are a lot of things that you can do to enrich your life and educate yourself that aren't going to incur you a very high student debt. And I'm sure everyone is really aware of this, but I lived with my mother until I was 28. I was not allowed to play instruments in the house, or she would get the shits and I would get scared that she would kick me out. And if you come to my house now, you will see it just happened naturally. You know, like, I went from piano, I went to violin, I got older, I bought a cello, I'm now 38, I've got a harp, you know, and I'm chipping away slowly. Like, it's only 4 songs every grade, and then there's tech work. But again, there is a degree of craftsmanship that you put in, a time and effort to become intimate with that instrument, to master it and get to know it and all the rest of it, and how it works, how to work it, and give it those sounds and all the rest of it. So I really enjoy it, and it gives me, you know, some people might go out and take drugs, run around troublemaking at people's houses, who knows what they do, you know, destroying beautiful things. I like to create beautiful things. And unfortunately, I'm a beautiful thing. I'll probably end up being destroyed. But, you know, I'm here for a short time, not a long time, and hopefully a good time. And that's what I get from this. And I don't get a huge student debt. And that's what the post was about. Because, like I said, my friend and I were discussing education and how a lot of the time when you do a bachelor's degree, it's for work. And then you have this student debt, and we need to work to pay back this student debt. And I'm like, I know. Like, ideally, I would do, like, marine biology or environmental sciences, but I'm not going to become, you know, like a marine biologist. I have to admit, though, I am investing in my social media. I'm investing in teeth, in cosmetic enhancements for modeling, like my breasts, which I love my new boobs. Can't wait to get them. And get lots of hot, sexy modeling photos and share them with everyone. And hopefully I can make a living off these things. Or, you know, I've got a car I'm doing up. I'm writing some music and rap albums. Failing that, I'm probably going to go and do nursing. And I've also got a couple of businesses that I'm working on setting up as well. But, you know, that's life. You need to learn to enjoy it, to be around good people, and find ways to deal with things, and to educate yourself. And education can be expensive, but as I just showed you there's so many books. Yes, it did cost me a bit, but yeah, there are so many ways over time that you can invest in your education and in yourself, so that, you know, you're raised right. Like right now, I'm working on also my RID exams in ballet. So for me, and that's just going to class, that's like $250 every term. You know, and I'm going to get my RID in ballet. I can have my associate diploma in piano, violin, and harp. You know, and then you learn to paint. But the thing about these things, something before we go, is that no matter how educated you are, no matter how much money you have, what's important is what's in your heart. And a lot of the time I see people get mistreated because they haven't achieved things. They don't have as much money. They're not as educated. They don't have a good reputation. They're not as popular. I've gone through a lot of things. I went through a lot of poverty. Both my parents just died, so now I've got money and no parents, and I have like no family. I have a very small social circle, and I'm hoping to break into the entertainment industry within the music and film sectors. You know, so who knows, maybe I'll become wildly successful. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? But at the same time, you know, you have to be kind to people. You need to be understanding. You need to learn to treat people rightly and deal with situations in a right manner, because we can all lose our shit. We all go about things the wrong way. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes. We all... I can't say we all hurt people, because I never really go out of my way for no reason to intentionally just hurt people or destroy people. But there are people out there that'll just like that. There are always going to be people with negative opinions, comments, and it's like a crackhead's a crackhead, a junkie's a junkie. That's just what they're like. You have to accept them for who they are and move on with your life, and just that you don't get involved with that kind of thing. So I just wanted to say there are many ways that you can actually educate yourself, and I wanted to showcase that because I'm really proud of myself. And I do my bachelor's degree and I can do my master's, but it does cost money, and I need to have a job to repay that debt, because then we also have our mortgages that we need to pay for as well. And people work really hard for their money. I know my parents worked really hard for their money, and I'm very lucky to receive it when I didn't work hard for it. So I want to do my best to invest in my life as much as I can to give myself a better life than what I was brought up in, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's always good to be kind to people and to care about them, and create and develop good things. I think that's something that I'd always say, like educationally, is that people are, you need to teach people to be good to people, that it's not fun to mistreat people, and all the rest of it. Anyway, so yeah, I hope I inspired people to go and be like, that's a great idea, I might go and do that. I know so many school kids. There are so many school kids that have like these, like it's standard, especially I think in Asian households, to have like your violin and your piano associate diplomas. So at 37, it's kind of like a bit of a low level, but at the same sense, you've got your flute, like I said, you've got clarinet, you've got other things that you can do when you start. There's always something that you can do to continue your education without it costing you a lot and gaining a high student debt, or basically we run out of like our student debt, because I think it's capped at like 120k unless you do med school anyway. But there's languages, there's lots of things that you can do to always keep learning and not have it cost you so much. So hope that inspired everyone. I wish you all luck on your educational journeys. Wish me luck on mine, etc., and all the best.